Turn your attention now to charts 3, 5, and 3, 6, which move us away from capacity utilization and introduce us to productivity. Now, productivity is once again one of those charts that seems pretty dull. But if you move from 3.5, which is Dullsville, and turn your attention to 3.6, looks much more like the Richter scale during an earthquake. And what this is, of course, is the change in productivity, the change in output per hour. Now, before we plunge any further, let's make sure we understand our terms here. Productivity sounds like production. It's not. There are two different concepts. Production is like output. Productivity is like efficiency. What's the difference? The difference is how much output we have per unit of input. It's like the difference between miles and miles per gallon. Miles is just distance. Miles per gallon is how efficiently your engine is operating. Output is just output. Output per hour of work, that's efficiency. How much we're getting for each hour which we work. And you can see this varies decidedly. Once again, the struggle between old economy and new economy. The new economy advocates said, lo and behold, look at the new economy of the 90s. Productivity is growing, output per hour is growing, 2-3% per year. Very good performance. Look at the old economy. Sometimes up, but a lot of times down. Look at 1973-4, bad news. Look at 1978, bad news. Sometimes we'd have a spike, but then we'd have a decay. Not good. So when we look at the economy's efficiency, the change in output per hour, what's going on here and how do we explain? Well, let me try to use an analogy, the analogy of a steel mill. And this may help you understand. Suppose you're the superintendent of a steel mill. And let's say there's an automobile company that's your best customer, your number one customer. They take more tonnage than anyone else. And just let's say they give you a call and say they need an emergency shipment of steel. They can't wait the usual month. They need this in a couple of weeks, maybe a week. Well, you can't disappoint them. They're your best customer. So you tell them you will move heaven and earth in order to push the order out. So let's say you were running your mill 2 shifts of workers a day, 2 8-hour shifts of production a day, 16 hours a day. Let's say the other 8 hours was maintenance, time to inspect, maintain, repair the equipment, so when the production crew came back, everything's up and running. All right. But now comes this emergency order. What are you going to do? Well, you ask your maintenance crew to have a seat, and you bring in an extra production crew. And now you're running your mill round the clock, 24/7, trying to push out this order. You used to be running 16 hours a day. Now you're running another 8. If you add 8 hours to the 16 you're already running, you're running 24 hours a day. That's a 50% increase. So your labor time is 50% more, from 16 to 24. You're running your mill with 50% more hours of production. Now, suppose the output increases by 1/3. You've added 50% more labor time in the production day, but suppose the output only increases by 1/3. That might be okay, because it may be a 1/3 increase in output which satisfies your customer. So by increasing output by 1/3 each day, you fill your order and your best customer is happy. Well, as you move heaven and earth to get this order out, are you as efficient? Are you operating as efficiently as you once did? Of course not. Just think about it. Output up by 1/3, 33%. Labor input up by 50%.